Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss chapter 6 Major Landforms. It is in the page number 36 of your social studies book. Okay. So, students, in this chapter we will discuss different types of major landforms. Okay. Landform is the solid surface of the earth, and there are various types of landforms in earth. And mountains, hills, valleys, plateaus, plains, and deserts are major landforms. So now we will discuss about them one by one, okay? I will explain all of this in short so that you can understand easily, okay? So look at here, students. A mountain is the highest landform on the earth, and it is usually conical in shape. Conical means like a cone. You can see here its shape is like a cone, right? And this pointed tip is called peak. And remember that 20% of the land is covered by the mountains, okay? And the shape and height of the mountains are determined by the age of the mountain, okay? And always keep in mind, Himalayas are the highest range in the world and the Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world, okay? Now we will discuss about the types of mountains, okay? There are three types of mountains: volcanic mountains, fault mountains, and block mountains. First of all, we will discuss about the volcanic mountains. They are formed from the layer of cool lava. Lava means hot molten rock that comes out from a volcano, okay? So when these hot molten rocks comes out from the eruption of volcanoes in the form of lava, this lava gathers on the surface of the earth and forms the mountains, okay? You can see here a picture of volcanic mountains. And these are the examples of volcanic mountains: Mount Helena, North America; Mount Pinatubo, Philippines, etc. Fault mountains. They form when two tectonic plates crash and collide. Their edges are crumbled and together they form a mountain called fault mountain. So you can see here this is the examples of fault mountains: Mount Everest and Himalayas. When two plates of the Earth's crust collided with each other, they form a mountain which is called fault mountain, okay? Another examples are the Andes in South America, the Rockies in North America, the Alps in the Europe are some examples of fault mountains, okay? Now block mountains. When cracks in the Earth's crust puts pressures on some materials or blocks to move up and down, block mountains are formed. So when there are some cracks in the Earth's crust and they put some pressures on some materials or blocks, this leads to the formation of block mountains, okay? These are the examples of block mountains: the Sierra Nevada in North America and the Harz Mountains in Germany, okay? Besides these mountains, there are also some mountains which are covered with snow throughout the year, okay? And the animals who have thick furs can only survive in these mountain regions. And the houses in these mountain regions are made up of sloping roofs so that the snow can slide off easily. Now let's see the importance of mountains. Mountains plays a very important role in blocking the cold and hot winds. So the mountains block the cold and hot winds. They save us from enemies. The snow which melts from these mountains are a good source of water. So all of you know that when the snow melts, it converts into the water, right? So the snow which melts from these mountains are a good source of water. Many rivers originate from mountains that are helpful for irrigation purposes. So there are various rivers which are originated from the mountains. And these rivers are of utmost importance for irrigation purposes. Mountains are a rich source of minerals. So these are the importance of mountains. Now come to the another landform, plateaus. A plateau, also called a tableland, is a flat and a raised landform that rises sharply above the surrounding area with flat surface. It covers up to a third part of the Earth's land. Many rivers flow through plateaus. Plateaus are spread and extended in thousands of kilometers. So you can see here in this picture, plateau is a flat and a raised landform, and it rises sharply above the surrounding area. And plateaus are spread and extended in thousands in kilometers, okay? And remember that the largest plateau in the world is the Tibetan Plateau. It covers an area of 2.5 million square kilometer. Okay? And there are two types of plateaus. One is dissected plateaus and other is volcanic plateaus. Dissected plateaus. A dissected plateau forms as an upward movement in the Earth's crust. It is caused by the slow collision of tectonic plates. So dissected plateaus are formed by the collision of the plates of the Earth's crust. Okay? The Colorado Plateau in the United States is the example of dissected plateau. Okay? Volcanic plateaus. The volcanic plateau is formed when various volcanoes erupt and slowly build up a plateau from the lava. So volcanic plateaus are formed from the lava which comes out from the eruption of volcanoes. Okay? These are the examples of volcanic plateaus: Mount Tongariro, Mount Naruho, and Mount Ruapehu. Plateaus are mainly found in the dry regions of the world. In plateau regions, temperature is high and so crops grow for a short period of time here. So the crops that grow in the plateau regions, they are for a short period of time, okay? Grasslands on plateaus help in the rearing of sheep and cattle. Plateaus are a rich source of minerals. And all of you remember that the Deccan Plateau in India is good for growing cotton because of the black soil present. Next landform is plains. A plain is a low-lying land surface which is flat. So plain is a flat landform, okay? The plains which are formed by the deposition of soil and silt by rivers are called river plains. River plains are very good for growing crops. So river plains are formed by the deposition of soil and silt by the rivers. And the soils of these plains are very useful for growing various types of crops, okay? Plains near the sea coast are called coastal plains. These plains meet at the oceans and seas. There are eastern coastal plains and the western coastal plains in India. Northern Gangetic Plain is a river plain. Plains have a favorable land for agriculture. They have fertile soil. Cities are usually located in plains because it is easy to build buildings and roads here. These areas are always thickly populated. So plains are a favorable place to live. Most of the cities, villages are located in the plains because the people can easily build here their houses, buildings and roads here. And as the plains have fertile soil, it is very useful for agriculture. Next landform is desert. The areas that receive very less rainfall and are dry and hot are called deserts. So basically the deserts are hot and dry and receive very less amount of rainfall, okay? The growing vegetation here is very less due to the shortage of water. So because of the shortage of water in the deserts, the growing vegetation is very less. Deserts are covered with sand. Weather conditions are very extreme in deserts. The sand absorbs heat fast during the day and gives off heat quickly at night. So usually days are very hot and nights are too cold. So as the deserts are full of sand, this sand absorbs the heat fast during the day and gives off heat at night. So the days in the deserts are extremely hot and nights are cold, okay? Cacti and the thorny bushes are found in deserts. So these are the plants found in deserts, okay? This is a picture of desert you can see here. There are two types of deserts, hot deserts and cold deserts, okay? Hot deserts do not receive rainfall. They are covered with sand and dust. So hot deserts are full of sand and dust and do not receive rainfall, okay? Camels, snakes, lizards and rats are found in these deserts. So these are the animals found in deserts. Third desert is a hot desert in India. So this is an example of hot desert, okay? Cold deserts. The cold deserts receive snowfall in winters. So the land is covered with snow. So the cold deserts are covered with snow throughout the year, okay? Penguins and whales are found in cold deserts. The Antarctica is the world's biggest cold desert. Remember it, okay? There is no life in these deserts. So in the cold deserts, there is no life because of the extreme coldness. Now look at here. An oasis is a place in the desert where a pool of water is found, surrounded by trees. Now come to the rivers. Water from the mountains and snow peaks melt. The rainwater and the melted water from mountains form rivers channels. As we know that the snow from the mountains melt and it converts into the water, right? So this melted water and the rainwater form the rivers channels. Okay. 7 major rivers make up the Indian river system. Majority of the rivers flow into the Bay of Bengal. All the major rivers of India originate from one of the 3 main sources. So these are the 3 main sources from which all the major rivers of India originated. Okay. The Himalayas and the Karakoram ranges, Sahyadri or Western Ghats in Western India, Vindhya and Satpura ranges, and the Chota Nagpur plateau in central India. So these are the 3 main sources of all the major rivers of India. Okay. The Indian river system is classified as Himalayan, peninsular, coastal and island drainage basin rivers. Brahmaputra has the greatest volume of water of all the rivers in India. The source of the Brahmaputra is also the source of the Indus and the Satluj. The Brahmaputra flows through Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. The Mahanadi is an important river in the state of Orissa. The Godavari river system has the second longest course within India. The Krishna is the third longest river in India with a length of about 1300 km. It rises in the Western Ghats and flows east into the Bay of Bengal. India is called the land of rivers. So students, besides mountains, valleys, plateaus, plains, deserts, there are also some other landforms called peninsula, cape, isthmus. Peninsula. A peninsula is a piece of land that is surrounded by water from 3 sides. So you can see here in this picture, this is a piece of land and is surrounded by the water from the 3 sides. You can see here there are waters from the 3 sides, right? So this landform is called peninsula. Next landform is cape. A cape is a part of land extending into a water body. This is an image of cape. You can see here cape is a part of land and it extends into a water body, right? In this way it extends into a water body. Next landform is isthmus. An isthmus is a narrow stretch of land which joins two large land masses. So this is an image of isthmus and you can see here it is a narrow stretch of land that joins two large land masses. So students, these are all about landforms. Okay. I hope all of you have understood this chapter. Thank you.